My BF proposed, near some dumpsters, in the middle of my panic attack for better or worse, in sickness and in health, right? He is the love of my life, and I'm so grateful for his presence in my life. Smiley face. Edit 1. To his credit, he had planned to propose in Mauritius, on the BF. A tender moment unfolded amidst unexpected surroundings as my partner got down on one knee in the midst of my anxiety. As he uttered the vows, I couldn't help but think of the unwavering commitment he was about to make. Through laughter and tears, he has been my rock, and for that, I am truly grateful. Edit 1. Although his initial plan was to pop the question in a picturesque setting on a beach in Mauritius, it's clear that he wanted to make this moment just as special and meaningful, even if it wasn't what I had envisioned. I have to tell someone. I can't tell my husband. Not yet. I want to make it a huge surprise because he's been dreaming of this since we met over 10 years ago. I can't tell my mom because I want to surprise her too. Likewise with my siblings and best friends. I'm so anxious. The secret's been building. I've been dying to share a life-changing revelation with someone, but my fingers are trembling with anticipation. It's not the right time to tell my partner yet. I want to plan the perfect surprise for him, considering how his eyes light up whenever we discuss this dream of ours. Over 10 years of waiting and planning have only strengthened our excitement. Telling my family or closest friends would spoil the magic, so I'm biting my tongue. My mom, my siblings, and my best friends will all have to wait until the big reveal. My emotions are in a whirlwind, a mix of nervousness, fear, and uncontainable joy. The secret I've been keeping? I'm expecting a child. Thanks for listening. If you've made it this far, I had to unburden myself somewhere. My dad died of alcoholism and now someone is sending me menacing packages containing alcohol. My dad was abused as a child and the trauma caused him to drink himself to death. I am teetotal and live a rather secluded life at the moment. Recently, I have been receiving cans of. A traumatic legacy takes a dark turn. A painful chapter from my family's past has been reopened, leaving me shaken. My father's life was marred by childhood trauma, which ultimately led to his demise through excessive drinking. In stark contrast, I have chosen to abstain from alcohol altogether, opting for a quiet and isolated lifestyle. However, my peaceful existence has been disrupted by a series of ominous packages I've been receiving. Each contains a can of lager accompanied by a cryptic note. It is only a matter of time. Smiley face. The unsettling message has left me feeling uneasy and fearful for my safety. Desperate for answers, I'm wondering if I can turn to the authorities for assistance. Can I report this distressing situation to the police, and would it be possible to track down the sender of these menacing packages? TLDR, someone is sending me packages containing alcohol with menacing notes, and I'm unsure if I can report it to the police or if it's possible to trace the sender. Edit: I will provide an update on this situation if I receive any further information or if I take any action. Update: to be added if applicable. What is it with narcs and stares? One day I looked up and saw my mom glaring at me through the corner of her eyes diabolically with a nastily curled lip. I got the shock of my life. Her head was tilted. I told her off, but the stare has stayed with me ever since. I checked with the unsettling gaze of a narcissist. I still recall the day I caught my narcissistic mother's piercing stare. Her eyes seemed to bore into my very soul as she cast a diabolical glance in my direction, her lip twisted into a scathing snarl. The shock was palpable as I met her gaze, my heart racing with a mix of fear and anger. Her head was cocked at an angle, as if sizing me up. My immediate reaction was to defend myself, but the memory of that unsettling gaze has lingered ever since. As I reflected on this incident, I began to notice a pattern in my mother's behavior. I spoke with our household staff and my sister-in-law, and both corroborated my observations. My mother frequently directs her icy stare at them as well. It's as if she's sizing them up, searching for vulnerabilities to exploit. Have you encountered a situation like this? I'm utterly destroyed about the election. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. I'm scared, disappointed, shocked. So much is going through my head. I just woke up and checked the polls and he won. He is going to destroy our country and create wars with the ones surrounding us. My world has been turned upside down by the election results. I'm struggling to put my thoughts into words. I'm consumed by anxiety, disillusionment, and shock. My mind is racing with a mix of emotions as I try to process what's happened. The moment I woke up and checked the latest polls, I couldn't believe my eyes. The outcome has left me in a state of despair, fearing for the future of our nation and the potential for conflict with neighboring countries. I'm struggling to comprehend how the majority of Americans could have made such a choice, seemingly disregarding their own well-being and the principles that should guide our country. The fact that so many people appear to be uninformed or misinformed is deeply concerning. I'm left with a sense of utter dismay, wondering how our nation can move forward in this uncertain environment. TLDR, the writer is devastated by the election results, fearing for the future of their country and expressing shock and disillusionment at the outcome. YouTube revenge. I'm married. All married couples get on each other's nerves, if you're doing it right. So I have figured out a good petty revenge for him. Whenever he gets on my nerves real bad, I go onto his YouTube account and watch videos that he hates. So the next time the marriage game as a married couple, it's natural to occasionally drive each other crazy. My husband and I have our share of disagreements, but I've discovered a clever way to strike back. I've developed a strategy to get my revenge whenever he's being particularly annoying. Whenever I'm feeling frustrated, I sneak onto his YouTube account and watch the very videos he despises. The next time he logs onto his YouTube, I make sure his recommended and watch again playlists are filled with the content he dislikes. I'm confident this will teach him a lesson. I've secretly been learning my wife's native language while she's been on vacation with her family. How should I surprise her with my new language skills? I'm looking for creative ways to maximize the impact of finding out I speak her native language out of the blue. I've been secretly studying my wife's native tongue while she's been away with her family on vacation. Now that I've mastered the language, I'm eager to surprise her with this newfound skill. How can I make the discovery all the more impactful and memorable? As I ponder the perfect moment to reveal my language skills, I'm considering several creative approaches to maximize the surprise. Her return home is scheduled to be accompanied by her mother and our young nephews, who will be staying with us for a short time. Perhaps this unique situation could be incorporated into the surprise. TLDR, surprise wife with native language skills, considering creative approaches in her return home with family. Update none, edit none. I'm bisexual. NSFW. It's more complicated than it sounds. I've struggled with sexuality for years, since around 5th grade. I always knew men interested me, but I never knew why. I know now. I love getting railed, but I can't let anybody I love except select few know Becca. My sexual identity. A personal struggle. I've been navigating my sexuality for years, ever since I was around 11 years old. During that time, I've grappled with feelings for both men and women, but it wasn't until much later that I was able to acknowledge and accept these emotions for what they truly are. For me, intimacy with men is a source of great pleasure and fulfillment. However, the fear of judgment and rejection from those I care about prevents me from openly expressing my desires. I long for a sense of freedom and acceptance, allowing me to explore my sexuality without fear of societal condemnation or repercussions. The weight of expectation from the people around me often leaves me feeling trapped and forced to conceal my true